Hey guys, so you should be able to hear me. Quick audio check before we start. We've got Hoss in the building, that is right, and we've also got Bull as
Hello.
well. So g'day guys.
Ja, servus, fertig.
Guten Abend. Ted, you have to say
I have
guten
no
Abend.
idea what you guys are saying, so no German from me, purely English Australian. But we'll see how this stream goes. We've got a lot of Germans in the house. That's cool to see. I'm picking up on words, but yeah, I have no idea what you're saying. Our moderators should be able to help us out, and obviously Bull and Hoss are here too. So today, introducing the Lambda token. Those that have followed on thus far would have seen that the whitelist has now been sold out. 1,000 people have booked their spots on the whitelist, and that gives an advantage at the token portal. We'll deep dive into the article that's just been released and explain what exactly everything means along the way. And we can answer some questions that have been asked in the Discord too. So now, without further ado, we'll get started. This stream will be recorded and saved on the Lambda YouTube channel, and we might circulate it elsewhere as well if we think we need to. So I'll get cracking into the article, and Hoss said if there's anything in German that needs to be clarified, he'll jump in and we'll all chat and walk through this along the way. So the Lambda token, first of all, the portal will open on the 21st of December at 3 p.m. GMT +1 and closed on the 7th of January 2023 at the same time, 3 p.m. GMT +1.
That's German time. Also GMT +1 ist deutsche Zeit, sprich 15 Uhr am 21.
Yes.
Dezember.
Yes. So the portal will look something like this. We've got the designs through, and that's being coded and is pretty close to being ready behind the scenes. I think, Bull, isn't that right?
Yeah, the smart contracts deployed, fully tested, also for security. The website needs a bit more styling and the transferal of the styling system to the site itself, and a lot of testing the coming days. But yeah, we're there.
Yep. So we'll dive into that a little bit deeper down further on in the article. If you've read the article already, you would have seen roughly how this structure is going to go. So quick glance, Lambda Markets is moving to tokenized platform access. This enables the efficient tokenized action plus valuable accrual for token holders within our ecosystem. Holders are entitled to platform access. First and foremost, the utility of the token is for platform access, but you also get discounts, rewards, and value realization with the Lambda Vault. So the Lambda Vault is quite an interesting mechanism, but we'll explain that a little bit later. As I mentioned, the Lambda token will be launched in a bespoke Dutch auction format, running from the 21st of December until the 7th of January 23. We'll also dive into that a bit later. So far, we've sold out the whitelist quite quickly. 1,000 users have gained access, and we've got the countdown still live at launch.lambda.markets, and that will also be the address where we will launch the token portal. So launch.lambda.markets will be the address to get access to the token portal, and that will be public access to the token portal. Whitelisted access gives you those benefits that we've already spoken about at launch, a little bit of an upper hand at the token portal launch, but it is open for the public. And if you're just catching up to everything now, we've got the links to the previous articles available within this new article on the token. So please do get up to speed with those for the purposes of efficient communication of information in the stream. We won't go back into those articles, but they are there. They're on the Medium profile for you guys to see and get up to speed. How am I going, Hoss? Are we going okay? No translation needed so far?
No, I don't think so. So, I mean, the important part starts here. Basically, the subscriptions in the platform, how you can access the platform, will be bought with the LMDA, the Lambda token. And this is the interesting part, because other than other tokens, our token has pure utility. There's nothing else than basically utility, because the token itself grants access to the platform. You can elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. So introducing the Lambda token. Bull, sorry, did you want to jump in?
No, this is the part I'm pretty excited about. So yeah, curious
okay, cool.
to see how you introduce it.
I'll warm into it and then I'll let you guys take hold. The Lambda token is key to gain access, like Hoss just said, and as we'll refer to throughout this article. So purchase Lambda tokens to activate the platform subscriptions, use tokens to pay for features in app. So the Lambda token, anything that you have to do with new features, subscriptions, everything that's in our ecosystem, in our application, when new users onboard, they'll have to integrate Lambda tokens into all of the processes and all of the interactions on the platform. Earn rewards, so we'll have locking mechanisms where you can earn tiered discounts on trading fees and platform subscriptions. There's more on that in this little graphic that we've got below. And referral system is quite interesting as well. So we've got a referral system where bring family and friends along to sign up to the platform, and you yourself with the referral link will get a rebate on the new subscriptions once they're activated via the Lambda Vault. But we'll go into a little bit more later. And pay trading fees. So gas tokens, just like you're executing on blockchains, the Lambda token will be the gas fee for any trades that are executed within the terminal. It'll be a little bit more nuanced than just a whole encompassing gas fee, depending on the tier of the user. But the gas fees will be Lambda token for the platform, and that's quite a big utility for our token. So with the tokens in the Solana blockchain wallet, users will be able to access the comprehensive trading platform Lambda 2.0 and also be rewarded for being early. So we'll get into the being rewarded for being early throughout the article, because that's quite an important point, and that's why you guys are probably watching this. And we'll explain that along the way. But a bit of a graphic to show what I've just explained. From the public launch, you'll be able to access Lambda with Lambda tokens. Accrue value, so 10% of Lambda tokens are burned for every subscription. So whenever tokens are purchased for a subscription to the platform, there's 10% of those tokens are burnt. And that's what incentivizes a deflationary market. We'll also get into this a little bit later in the article, but just touching on it now, you can accrue value with that burn mechanism. So the total supply of Lambda tokens on the market is constantly being burnt when people are registering to the platform and allocating Lambda tokens to the vault to activate their subscription and the new features on the platform. So there'll always be 10% burnt when that mechanism happens.
I think that's pretty good explained even in English, but in German nochmal auf Deutsch erklärt. Das heißt einfach, dass bei jedem Kauf einer Mitgliedschaft 10% der Tokens, die bei dem Kauf der Mitgliedschaft verwendet werden, automatisiert geburnt werden. Das heißt, sie gehen aus dem Bestand raus. Wenn der Bestand sich verringert und neue Nutzer Mitgliedschaften kaufen wollen, müssen sie neue Token kaufen, was dazu führt, dass simple Markttheorie der Token steigt.
Cool.
Genau.
Makes sense. And then earn rewards. So lock Lambda tokens to receive discounted access and more. That will be explained a little bit later. Rebates like we just touched on. And in late January 2023, once the terminal goes live and the trade engine, pay fees with Lambda as gas. And basic users will require Lambda tokens for all of the interactions on the platform.
I think this is a big question before we come to the tokenomics. Usually we want to, normalerweise würden wir jetzt die Fragen am Ende beantworten, but I think this question is quite important because people are asking, well, when they buy a subscription and they pay with tokens, where do the tokens go?
Yeah, maybe I can explain that.
Sure. Go on.
So the funny thing is that tokens need to come from somewhere. Originally, they come from a token generation event. So in this case, it's the IDO. The IDO is merely there to set the starting market and the price for the token. So the amount of people that participate in the IDO and proportionally their value contributed is the share that they will get for practically the entire float. So as we've said, there's no VCs, team members, inner team, or like a secret cabal that owns special tokens that get dumped on the market. The IDO people buy the actual float, so all the tokens in existence. When you have tokens, you can commit them via the application to the vault, and at any given time, an amount of tokens will be needed that represent the subscription price in dollars. So let's say if the price is X, the amount of tokens is 30,000. People commit those 30,000 tokens, and then they have an annual subscription, for example. Those tokens go to the vault. That is for people that participated in the IDO. If people outside of the IDO later want a subscription, they need to buy these tokens from the open market. And the only people that can sell them after the IDO are the people that participated in the IDO. And they don't sell at the IDO price or below, because then they would be selling at a loss. So the price they set is higher. You can set the price of the token that you want to sell, just like any other market. To answer the final question, the tokens go to the vault. At the moment they are committed to the vault, 10% automatically gets burned. And then the rest of the tokens get withheld, and perhaps if there's liquidity need, get re-offered as an ask on the market, but not as a market selling pressure. So we won't market sell the tokens to realize dollars, but we'll provide ask side liquidity so that people can buy an amount of tokens without price 2xing in the meantime and them overpaying for a token. So that should explain in a nutshell also how the team makes money. So after the burn, essentially we take then the dollar value for a subscription, but we get it contributed in tokens. Those tokens then just get put back into the order book so that other people can buy them. But it's a free and open market, so other people can place their tokens wherever they want to sell them. And we can choose to not sell tokens for a while, or depending on what is needed for the condition of the market at the time.
Also um es nochmal ein bisschen einfacher auf Deutsch zu erklären. Sobald eine Mitgliedschaft gekauft wird, gehen die Token in den Vault. 10% davon werden verbrannt und die restlichen 90% werden wieder verkauft, aber nicht automatisiert am Markt, was dann theoretisch negativen Marktdruck auslösen würde, sondern es werden Limit Asks quasi, potenzielle Verkaufsorders platziert über dem Preis, der eingekauft wurde, was dann auch dazu führt, dass diese Asks erst erreicht werden können, wenn der Tokenpreis steigt, was passieren muss und automatisiert passiert, wenn neue Leute diese Mitgliedschaft kaufen, weil sie dann ja eben am Markt Tokens kaufen, um die Mitgliedschaft kaufen zu können. Das heißt, erst dann wird das in Euro konvertiert, erst wenn Nachfrage besteht. Am Markt wird kein Token verkauft, dadurch besteht kein Abwärtsverkaufsdruck. Es wird immer nur 10% potenzieller Verkaufsdruck pro Transaktion rausgenommen. Und so funktioniert das Ganze im Grunde genommen. Es ist eigentlich simpler, als es klingt. Es ist relativ interessant, aber wir kommen gleich nochmal ein bisschen im Detail auf das Ganze zu sprechen, weil wir ein paar interessante Grafiken dabei haben. I think the next important thing and the question is, well, how are the tokenomics? We've said already there will be no allocation, keine Zuweisung an Tokens fürs Team, Private Sale oder solche Geschichten. Das sind alles einfach nur Vektoren in jedem Projekt, in jedem Token, in jedem Coin von potenziellen Menschen, die den Token viel günstiger kriegen als der Kurs, zu dem er offiziell verkauft wird, die dann einfach nur abwarten, dass am Ende der Token dann offiziell quasi gelistet wird und sie dann ihre Tokens verkaufen können. Das gibt es bei uns nicht und das zeigen wir euch jetzt. Let's show them the token allocation.
Yeah, super clear.
Let's do it.
That was a very good explanation.
Nice, Ross. I didn't follow any of that, but yeah, I'll take
No,
you
I
guys
understood
on
it.
your word
It
for
was hyper clear, actually.
Nice. Okay, so the tokenomics, let's go. I'll explain this in English quickly, and then Hoss, you probably need to do a little translation for us as well. So the Lambda tokenomics model is very, very simple. We're floating 90% of the 100 million token supply. The total supply will only ever be 100 million tokens. And we're offering 90% of those tokens at the public sale. And as we said previously, the 10% of the token supply that's left over will be left in the Lambda vault. And the main reason that we're doing that is to ensure that once the market opens to the public, that the markets on decentralized exchanges are set up so that there's an efficient market to trade straight away for those that so you want to do whatever that you want to do with your tokens. If you want to sell it within 1 or 2% of the market price, you can do that. Instead of having a market that's going up by 10%, 20%, 50%, and then down 30%, we are providing liquidity with the vault, and also we're allocating some USDC so we can play either sides to make sure that there's an efficient bootstrapped market straight away with the vault. So we go on to say that in this section here, the Lambda team will contribute equal parts USDC and Lambda tokens following the distribution of tokens to bootstrap market liquidity on the automated market maker Orca. That's quite important that you guys understand that.
Yeah, but you cannot start a market pair without any liquidity in the books. That only benefits people who have technical capabilities to exploit that. So you need to bootstrap the market with some liquidity in the beginning. But it's important to note that this is not sell-side liquidity. This is just asks and bids. So what we do is we take those tokens, we match it with dollars that we have, and provide ask and bid side liquidity in the AMM.
Yeah, exactly. So this tokenomic model where we're floating 90% of the supply upfront in the public sale is pretty much unheard of in crypto. Usually you see team allocations, private VC seed allocations, and community allocations that make up greater than 50% of the total supply before it even gets to a point where retail can trade it. And that's why you see the high float, fully diluted valuations of billions and billions of dollars. Like we've seen, it's notorious in the Solana ecosystem over the past year. So we're comparing to the traditional crypto tokenomic setup. We're quite different in the way that we're floating everything out onto the market. And you can see on the right there, that's the traditional crypto setup where you have seed investors, a public sale, a community team, and other these allocations that they pack for insiders and only give a little bit of the pie to the public sale for retail. Ours is completely backwards. So 90% goes to the public straight away. And then there's no further dilution or overhead selling that you see with vested token launches. And, where teams are constantly dumping tokens perpetually until they, have zero tokens anymore and they're out. There won't be any of that in our token market.
I think a good thing to, sorry.
Yeah, easily explained in English and in German. You see all of those colors on the right. 90%, like only one color gets it at the official price, the other one gets it at a cheaper price. So when the official price hits, they can all sell. In our token concept, there is no other price than the price that is being sold to everyone fairly. So there is no possibility, no one will sell their token that they just choose to buy below the price because it has clear utility. It's not just some magic token that you buy without anything. It has a clear utility, and that is the platform. So that's what we're trying to explain. There's no hidden selling pressure.
Yeah. And the Lambda Vault is purely there just to bootstrap the market at the start. Never are we ever market selling those. It's purely just passive ask side liquidity higher up. We'll never be dumping those tokens. It's just to bootstrap liquidity and make sure that there's an efficient market to trade for.
I think it's important to note that this is just an open fungible token. So for example, what that means is that if you have it in your wallet, it's yours and you can choose to sell or buy it at an open market. We have nothing to do with that. So it's a complete existing token in and of itself.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm scrolling a little bit further down. Are you comfortable with the German translation there, Hoss, for that section?
I don't think there's a need for that.
Okay, let's go to the next one then. So touching on the Lambda Vault now, to create a deflationary Lambda market. So the major benefit, like we've spoken about, of floating essentially 100% of the Lambda token supply at launch is that we were able to create a deflationary token market instead of one that is ridden with inflation. And that's pretty self-explanatory if you're familiar with the typical crypto setup that we've seen. They launch, say, 10 or 20% of the token at the start, and then slowly over time, tokens are unlocked from community allocations or private sale allocations, and those tokens are sold onto the market, and you've got a token supply that goes up and up and up and up, where ours is going to go backwards. As the Lambda Vault consumes tokens when users activate their subscription. So when Lambda tokens are purchased, users can use those to deposit into the Lambda Vault and activate a subscription or a platform feature. Those tokens that are deposited into the vault are then 10% of those tokens are burnt, and then the rest of the tokens are kept in the vault and then used as resting liquidity in the market. So that's essentially how the vault works. So to activate a subscription, you must deposit the Lambda tokens in the vault. Those tokens are burnt, or 10% of those tokens are burnt, and the rest is stored in the vault and offered as passive liquidity in the books for new subscribers to come on. So every time someone subscribes to the platform, allocates tokens to the vault, we're burning and burning and burning. And that's what's creating a deflationary token market where the supply is going down and down and down instead of going up, that we traditionally see with crypto token markets. And that will happen at launch. So I've got to be clear about that. As soon as we launch the token market, any tokens that are allocated to the vault will be 10% of those will be burnt from launch and forever after that. So there's no lag between launching that open market and burning the token. So that's the benefit of being early. The tokens are burnt straight away. So if we have a mass influx of users at the start and they're all depositing to the vault, there's going to be a hell of a lot of tokens burnt straight away. And then as the word gets out about Lambda, we launch new features and we roll out in January, February. There's going to be, we anticipate more users who are going to continue the demand for new subscriptions, burning more and more tokens, and also they're going to have to buy tokens, and that will see upside pressure, we would think, in the token price. So there's a bit of a positive feedback loop for the token market, naturally accruing value via the demand first and foremost for tokens at the start, burning tokens, and then new people coming on board. As we see that growth in the first few months of the platform, we might plateau out, but there's going to be demand for renewed subscriptions as subscriptions come to an end and expire. If people choose to renew, they'll have to buy tokens again, go through the same process, and tokens are burnt perpetually as that happens. And there's pressure for the token naturally with gaining access to the platform.
Hoss and Ted, do you mind if I just say something quickly as to why the hell are we doing a token in the first place? I think I have quite a clear explanation for it. So the thing is, like, if you're in this platform as a user, you want the platform to be successful. And the way that a platform is successful is that you attract more users. If we use a token mechanism, people are able to speculate on the mechanism that people pay the subscription for. And given the system that we've set it up in, what's good about it is that you can purchase tokens earlier, which are, for example, worth more than the value of your subscription. But because the system is geared towards value appreciation, the more users come in, you get a piece of that because you essentially get paid to be early to buy the token. And if the token value accrues, then you can get a share indirectly of the revenue that is coming towards the platform. That's why we're doing a token model. It gives us a far more interesting dynamic to involve the users in the growth and the health of the platform, which dollars on their own cannot do.
Exactly. That's a very good explanation. I think we should go and move on to the next topic in the article. Enough of the burn.
The process? Is this where you want to look, Hoss?
Yes.
I think that's an important point, though, Bull's just made. Are we able to communicate that in German for those? Because it seems like there's quite a few questions coming in around why token, why are we doing this in the first place? Bull just explained it quite nicely.
Naja, um es nochmal auf Deutsch zu erklären, was Bull gerade gesagt hat, war, dass wenn du eine Plattform hast, bei der du Tokens hast und bei der quasi Tokens gekauft werden müssen, um Zugriff auf die Plattform zu bekommen, wenn du davon ausgehst, dass in der Zukunft mehr Nutzer auf diese Plattform kommen, du dich aktiv an dem Wachstum der Plattform beteiligen kannst. Und die Dynamik der Community, dadurch, dass wir auch Rewards zurückgeben in Form von Token auf der Plattform, einfach eine andere ist, weil die Plattform an sich wachsen wird mit der Community und man gleichzeitig auch daran profitieren kann. Es gibt keine andere Plattform, auf der es möglich ist, in irgendeiner Weise etwas vom Wachstum der Plattform zu haben. Stellt euch vor, als TradingView oder jede andere Plattform, die ihr aktuell benutzt, noch klein gewesen wäre. Ihr hättet die Möglichkeit gehabt, in irgendeiner Weise daran zu profitieren, davon auszugehen, dass die Plattform irgendwann größer wird und mehr Nutzer sie benutzen. Das bietet niemand an, weil sie die Profite für sich behalten wollen. bei uns ist es nicht nur, Bull hat gesagt indirekt, aber es ist eigentlich relativ direkt, weil ihr müsst mal überlegen, die Token, die quasi ausgegeben werden für eine Mitgliedschaft, werden dann für höher an den Markt verkauft. Das heißt, die einzigen Leute, die daran profitieren, dass der Token steigt, sind die bei dem Token-Launch mitmachen, weil es keinen anderen gibt, der die Token hat, außer die Personen, die beim Token-Launch mitmachen. Und wir 3 werden auch persönlich beim Token-Launch mitmachen, weil wir keine andere Token-Allokation bekommen.
Ja, wir müssen es selbst kaufen quasi. sonst kriegen wir die nicht.
Genau.
Ja.
Nice. Cool. Let's go to the next part then. So the token sale itself will take place at the Lambda token portal. So that is at launch.lambda.markets, and follow a tried and tested approach, a customized Dutch auction to enhance the fairness for all participants and avoid manipulation. So we'll get into this, but there's some questions in the chat. Who can participate? Everyone can participate. It's those that have with the whitelist that get an automatic contribution towards the token portal of double what they invested in the whitelist. So we're doubling their whitelist amount, and they'll get that as an automatic contribution to the portal. So everyone can participate. I want to make that clear. There's some questions around. Everyone can participate, not just whitelisted accounts. So participants will contribute USDC to a deposit pool. So we'll have 2 vaults with this auction process. There will be a USDC vault that starts off at 0, and there'll be a Lambda token vault that starts off with those 90 million tokens. So the thing about this auction process is there's a few phases, but the overall process is a user deposits USDC, however much they want. There's no limit to secure their tokens. And at the end, depending on how much USDC has been contributed overall, that is divided by the number of tokens, and the tokens are distributed to everyone who's contributed USDC to the USDC vault. So those Lambda tokens are emptied out of the Lambda vault and distributed proportionally to the USDC contributions from the users. So let's get into this a little bit more deeply. Pull me up, Hoss, if you need to explain anything. So the process is on the 21st of December this year at 3 German time, GMT +1, the token portal will open. And during this phase that we start off with, it's the price discovery phase. So in this phase, you can both deposit USDC to the USDC vault or withdraw USDC from the USDC vault. So if you've deposited, you can also withdraw. And there's unlimited deposits that you can do within that period. So there's no limit on the number of deposits or withdrawals that you can do in that period. But once we get to the 24th of December, midnight, so as soon as the 24th of December starts, we move to phase 2, price refinement. And that's where you cannot withdraw USDC if you've already contributed USDC. So you might have contributed $1,000 in phase 1, and we're now in phase 2, you cannot withdraw any of that $1,000. So that's quite important to realize. There's a few reasons for that. It's to ensure that people are comfortable with the process, and to show that the smart contract and everything works, and that the auction process is live and well, essentially. So those distinct phases with the times at the bottom there. And then on the 7th of January 2023, that should right, the token portal closes. So we'll make sure that we update that to 2023 at 3 p.m. GMT +1. And that starts the Lambda redemption. So then every person that's contributed USDC to the USDC vault will get a proportionate share of the Lambda tokens that are in the Lambda vault. So those 90 million tokens will be split across all of those users who deposited USDC, and the Lambda tokens will be distributed. After that point, we get to the bootstrapping the market, like we were speaking about earlier, where we bootstrap the market with our own liquidity with Lambda tokens from the vault, and then there's an open market to trade. So this process here is only available to people that participate in the token portal. After the redemption phase, you cannot get access to the token portal. You have to get tokens on the open market. There's no longer a Dutch auction process. So it's important to understand that, and it's detailed throughout this article, and we'll keep diving into it. Horst, there's probably a little bit to communicate there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably you should open the graphics again so I can explain in German again.
Sure.
Also, um die Auktion nochmal zu erklären, der Preis verändert sich für die Tokens abhängig davon, wie viel in die Auktion an USDC reinkommt. Aber es ist 100% fair. Nur weil jemand mehr Tokens kauft oder weil jemand früher oder später bei der Auktion an sich dabei ist, also beim Tokenportal an sich dabei ist, heißt es nicht, dass er einen günstigeren oder weniger günstigen Token kriegt. Jeder, der bei dem Tokenportal mitmacht, um Tokens zu bekommen, im Launch quasi, wird den gleichen fairen Kurs bekommen. Nur danach wird der Tokenwert wahrscheinlich steigen, weil einfach die Mitgliedschaften dann ausgelöst werden, die Tokens geburnt werden, keiner unter dem Preis verkaufen wird, der im IDO dann am Ende das Resultat des Preises wird. Also es wird nicht der Kurs während des Tokenportals fallen, umso länger das Ganze geht, sondern es ist daran angepasst, wie viel dazu beigetragen wird und dann eben fair auf alle, die beigetragen haben, ausgeteilt. Das heißt, den einzigen Vorteil, den man hat, wenn man mehr Geld, quasi mehr USDC reinsteckt, um mehr Token zu bekommen, ist, dass man mehr Token hat, die man potenziell für teurer verkaufen kann oder mehrere Mitgliedschaften holen kann. Und so funktioniert das Ganze. Da gibt es diese 3 Phasen eben, aber ich erkläre das dann in meinem YouTube-Video dann noch einmal ausführlicher. Okay, let's get on to the next. No, there's no discount on the token launch. No one has any discount on the token launch. But I think we should go through the article and then we'll go through questions because some things are maybe misunderstood. It's better for us to clear everything up at the end instead of going into questions in between. Ted, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, Ted.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Just on your point about the discounts, where people are asking about discounts, that's all about the perspective and how you view it. If you think the price is going to go up of the tokens, you need to consider that we've got the initial float is coming out, and then more and more exponential demand is coming. We'll have a demand multiplier as well, but we'll talk about that later on in the article. For now, the process is Dutch auction and then move to open market. So if you miss out on the initial token launch, then the move to the open market can be a little bit more volatile with that demand multiplier and also the burn mechanics and all of that. Those whitelisted participants will get a bit of a discount because we are committed to doubling their whitelist contribution, and that can go towards subscriptions on the
but
platform.
That is only the 5 SOL. So it's not like someone that is whitelisted can contribute $1 million and it will get doubled. No. It's just 5 Solana, so $70 get doubled, nothing more.
Exactly.
That's a small.
But it's still amazing.
Yeah.
Still pretty good. Double your money.
Yeah.
So I think I've gone through the token auction explained. The total number of tokens that a user receives will be directly proportionate to the sum of USDC they contribute to the USDC vault, and the sale price per token. So at the end of the token portal, whatever's contributed to the USDC vault will be split amongst the Lambda tokens, and that will effectuate the token price at launch. So say, for example, the sum of USDC is $1 million. That will be divided by 90 million Lambda tokens at the end, and that will give you a price for each Lambda token. And the price will fluctuate, obviously, throughout the process as USDC is deposited and withdrawn from the USDC vault. Pricing. So the pricing for access, like I've just quickly mentioned, will be a little bit dynamic in its nature. The pricing will fluctuate based on market demand, but the base cost of each tier and each time frame will be pegged to US dollar values. So the base, pro, and advanced access tiers, the 3 tiers that we will offer, each with differing access permissions or rights to the platform. And there'll be 3 monthly, quarterly, 6 monthly, and 12-month annual timeframes for you to get access and to deposit Lambda tokens to secure access for that time period. So the pricing will look something like this: $300 in Lambda tokens for 3 months, $500 for the advanced for 3 months, and there'll also be a free option where you need to have Lambda tokens to interact with gas and all of those mechanics that we were speaking about earlier. A demand multiplier will.
I'd say let's go into the memberships first before we skip that, because everyone is waiting for that part. Maybe you can open it. So the 3 tiers, basically, there's a free tier, there's a pro tier, and advanced tier. And the free tier, it will already include our own private high-speed charting system, which is basically like TradingView, but in our own self-made built way. Also for free, fully for free. You can track order flow, you can track any cryptocurrency, you can make your drawings in it. TradingView charges money for that. On our platform, it will be for free. Also, the trading terminal, which will then also come, so the advanced order execution will also be for free. Plus, there will be basically restricted access to alerts. So what you will be able to see is some alerts for basically most likely Bitcoin and Ethereum only on the daily chart. With the alerts do not happen very often. What then changes with the pro version is the free version is there, so you can look into the platform, see how is it working, see how the UI is working, see that everything's there. And if you then would like to get access to our algorithm, you can by entering into the pro membership, which costs $300 per 3 months. So it's $100 per month if you calculate it down, but there will be also 6 months, 12 months. And then with that membership, you get access to all of the features. So you have access to the strike algorithm, which means you can look at it at a multiple amount of token pairs, altcoins, different time frames, whatever you would like. You will get access to the macro dashboard. You'll get access to the alerts feed, where you can even customize to which coins do you want alerts from Lambda, from the strike algorithm, etc. And then there's the more advanced version of the membership, which is $500 per 3 months. And that one has even more features. It has a full strike algorithm. What that means is that with the advanced version, you can access basically any pair that exists at any time frame, even in the seconds time frame, which will not be available with the Pro one. So in the Pro one, you will be able to access like a broad scheme of pairs. I think you can explain further, Ted, which pairs it has been already with the strike one, because this difference was already there before, right?
Yeah, so major altcoins and BTC Ethereum will, for the most part, be left out of the Pro. We'll get a full list ahead of time, so you guys can make the best decision. But there'll be limited access to the strike algorithm, but you'll still get the vast majority. It's just advanced. We'll get those more exotic pairs and more time frames to chart on as well. So that's been in existence for Strike so far, and that'll be a key differentiator for the algorithm and the charting platform for the Pro and the Advanced. But the key thing is you won't need TradingView at all. So we have all of the time frames. We have the tools to draw. We have the charting library. We'll have order flow data. We'll have the Strike algorithm overlays, and yeah. It's the key difference between Pro and Advanced would be the availability of pairs on each, and that would be the key differentiation.
Yes, and also the automated trading engine is available to Advanced, so you can automate everything, all of your alerts. But more into that then at the time when you see the dollars up there, because the amount of dollars remains the same, but you pay it in tokens. So it's calculated at that exact moment how many tokens would be $300, and then you pay in token. And what Ted just said is the demand-based, basically how the price of the memberships adjust demand-based. So we can explain that one, Ted.
Yeah. So let's just get into that. So the demand multiplier, if we're speaking about demand-based subscription pricing, so there will always be the base pricing, which is what you see right here. So $300 USD, $500 USD, and as you expand that time frame, the cost is more favorable to you. There's a discount for longer time periods, obviously. So that is a key point to make. but also depending on the demand at the time, there will be a percentage demand multiplier on each of these prices. So that could go be quite considerable, or that could be nothing at all, depending on the demand at the time. And the reason for doing this is it will be added to the subscription price as a method of increasing the deflationary impact on the token market. So at times where we're seeing peak demand, we'll take advantage of that peak demand to decrease the token supply and really drive value for existing holders. So there's times where we'll see a lot of demand for new subscriptions, demand for the token, and those time periods will make sure that the token market is seeing the full effect by multiplying the subscription price a little bit, not extremely, but there will be a demand multiplier that makes people buy more tokens, and in that return there's more tokens burnt and more value delivered to existing holders. And it's also to encourage a bit of exclusivity to the platform, so to keep the edge and to keep people who are just here to have a look and not really engage with the community or provide alpha or seek alpha, to keep it exclusive and to keep the platform to have that allure, and most of all the deflationary impact to provide for existing token holders.
Yes.
Any more on that, Horst?
Kurzer Einwerfer auf Deutsch. Ich denke, ich werde jetzt nicht auf Deutsch nochmal alles einzeln erklären, weil ich werde sowieso ein ganzes Video zu dem Thema am Wochenende hochladen, wo ich alles nochmal einzeln auf Deutsch auf meinem Kanal erkläre. So I just said that I won't go into further details here in German because I will explain it anyways fully in German on my channel, every detail on the weekend before even the token portal launches. So you can watch that video fully and decide for yourself. Let's go on further. I think we have a lot of questions. We're almost done, and then we can go deep dive into every question that there is.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
That's the good part.
Everything will be on chain. So on the Solana blockchain, you'll need a Solana wallet. There's a link in the article if you haven't set one up and funded it before. There's this article here, so that'll walk you through on how to set it up and how to fund it if you're interested. Other than that, it's this stream should be a pretty good source of information, and the roadmap that we've got. So we are at the Tokenomics article release on the 15th of December. We're here, and the stream obviously that you're at right now. Hoss will be doing a video on Lambda a little bit later on in the week. We'll have a community AMA prior to the launch, and then the token portal launches on the 21st of December. And all of the times are here. We've posted this in quite a few places now. So that's the December roadmap leading up to launch. And then we've got our wider roadmap that tells you what happens in January and what happens to the project moving forward as well. So that's available in the earlier articles as well as the Discord.
Yes, and also at any time, obviously anyone, whatever language, English, German, French, can always come into the Discord, ask any question, open a ticket, talk with the other members. Everything's available, always open. And now let's go into the questions, I'd say. Also stellt gerne jetzt einfach mal alle Fragen. Just ask whatever question you have and we'll try to answer those.
Cool. Yeah. What happens if the platform, if Solana stops working? It will be completely fine. Solana has only ever stopped a couple of times, but people expect the world in a perfect system when we are actually at the cutting edge of technology. There is nothing like Solana out there. So the fact that it goes down, nothing changes, nobody loses money, and it starts back up again, and it gets even stronger and even better. It's only improved since then. Is actually a benefit, not a deficit to the platform. But the login, nothing will change. You won't be able to stop seeing the markets. Everything will just keep flowing. Maybe subscriptions will be paused, like buying subscriptions will be paused for the duration that the blockchain is down. But this happens so rarely that it has zero effect on our platform.
Is the vault address published? Of course.
Everything's on the blockchain.
Address, everything's on the blockchain. Everything will be published prior and also visible all the time. Full transparency.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Throughout the IDO, you'll be able to see exactly who paid, how much is paid, what's in the vault, where the tokens are, what the supply looks like. Every single thing is out in the open. So this is also a first that it's just a fully transparent SaaS company. It's not a hidden profit organization.
Yep. There's another question here.
One question that I read earlier that I wanted to talk about. Someone said, so then the team has the highest edge on the token launch, which is absolutely not true. No one has any edge. Everyone participates in the token portal at the same conditions. The only thing whitelist participants get, the 1,000 people that joined, they have a small little boni, so they double basically whatever they contributed to the whitelist, which was 5 Solana. That's it. No one has any edge. There's no edge for us. We all participate at the same fair price. So anyone who bets in the success of the platform can do so at the same fair rate at the token launch.
That's true. However, Hans, I think I should comment that people that participate in the IDO have an edge over people that have to buy tokens later, right?
Yes.
Because those tokens later need to be bought off those IDO participants because there's no other tokens to be bought.
Yes. So you participate in the IDO, you get it at the cheapest possible price. Anyone has the same chances. And then afterwards, anyone else coming later when the platform is full and when the macro dashboard is there, and you know how things go. Then the bull market comes, a lot of more people will come to the space. They will want to get access to this platform. So they will have to buy the tokens, but there's no IDO. So they have to buy it in the open market, which means they have to buy it from someone who bought it before, which will not sell them for cheaper than they bought them. And this is how the market works.
Yeah, there will be lesson number 1 in the Discord. Do not screw yourself.
Can't the team just reuse that money to buy tokens by themselves? So if we're buying the very limited amount of tokens that will probably be on the open market post the Dutch auction, that will probably send the price way too high, and that would just be stupid. Can't we just reuse that money to buy the token ourselves?
I think I saw another question. I think this answers a lot of questions. What happens to the money that's spent through the IDO? This is a company. Instead of raising from VCs or people that get tokens at a cheap price, we're raising money from you, the initial subscription buyers. So we need to pay server costs. We need to hire people. We need to get developers on board, designers. We need to work on PR, marketing. What this does is it gives us a war chest to make sure that we have a healthy token market and that we can run a successful company and build the best fucking tool out there.
Yes. Yeah. Can the tokens we buy on December 21st be used to pay the plans for the platform? Exactly, that is the utility of the tokens. You buy them to get access to the platform.
Yeah, or to speculate, but primarily access.
Awesome. More questions coming through.
Can I update during the subscription? Probably the question is, when I get pro, can I upgrade to advanced? Yes, you will be able to do so.
There will be an option,
Yep. There's some questions in the Discord as well. I'll just have a quick check there. But guys, keep going if there's more popping up.
Earlier there were some questions. I will look at them.
Bahnhof. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to read in English.
Will there be a discount if you, for example, choose the advanced plan for 12 months instead of 3 months?
Yeah. Well, relatively to if you were just to perpetually buy 3-month subscriptions, yes, absolutely. It will pay to pay a longer subscription. So, for example, currently in the previous Lambda, we had a quarterly subscription for $500 and an annual for $1,500. There's 4 quarters in a year, so that would be $2,000. But instead, the annual is $1,500, which means 25% discount. Effectively.
Will there be crystal clear proof that you don't pre-distribute tokens to yourselves?
Yeah, 100%.
Of course.
It's on chain. You can see the mint. You can see where the tokens are created. We'll publish all the wallet addresses. You can trace. So on Solana, a token creation is called a mint transaction. You can follow these exactly. Yeah, you can see the active supply at any given time, and all of those 90 million tokens will be in the IDO contract the moment that the IDO starts.
Another question I saw earlier. Theoretically, if 10% gets burned every time, the supply could eventually go to 0. What happens then?
No, it won't go to 0.
This is impossible. It's impossible for the supply to go to 0. If 10% gets reduced every time, it will just go lower and lower and lower. And the less tokens exist in the market just means the token is not one token. It's not splittable. It has 9 decimals. So it will just go up in value. This is how the market theory behind it works.
It will just become more scarce.
Wird Lambda auch in Zukunft als Exchange fungieren oder als Trading?
So, you know what? The funny thing is that first we're going to make a very awesome trading platform, and then we're going to expand it with the best information tools out there, and then we're going to get our data system to be even more solid, and then we're going to have the best-in-class execution. And once we have all of those ingredients, once we have all of those ingredients, if we can create an on-chain exchange that is fair and transparent and that has none of the nonsense going on that is today, who knows, maybe, but it's not our focus at the moment.
But there's no custody. This is clear to understand. We do not hold your assets. You connect your API from your exchange. That's it. There's no possibility for any withdrawal or the deposit or anything. It's just execution layer above the existing exchange you use.
Information and execution.
That's very important. More questions coming in?
Is the Lambda 2.0 strike engine different or better than the current we are using? I think this refers to the old one, and it's definitely more tuned. It's fine-tuned and has some additional features even, I think, small ones, right?
Yeah, but it will be constantly fine-tuned. Like, this is one of the other applications of the IDO funds, is that we'll just continue to research and adapt the technologies and the indicator to the market. So we want to have the most edge, but in order to have the most edge on a constantly developing market, you need to constantly develop your technology. That's the only way.
The automated trading seems to be the core feature tooling, apparently, for some users. What can the user expect? The bot will be controlled by the team? And I think this is the magic of it. No, it's not. You can control basically what you want to be automated. You can control what part the algorithm, what part of it, what alerts it will give you out, and which ones you want to be automated at which time frames.
I'll let you answer that, Paul.
Yeah, so the thing is, the execution triggered on signals. I don't think any trader should want fully automatic execution based on signals. Like, signals on their own are not good enough. It's the power of the dashboard and of the app is that there's a lot of macro information in there as well as combining information with other sources of information. The point is the bot gives you the signal as and when it happens. So the edge that you have is that you get notified immediately and can take very immediate action. You don't need to go to your exchange, place a limit order, blah, 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 blah. You can pre-configure all of these things and just push a button to execute and use our advanced execution features to do stuff like auto limit chasing and so forth. Eventually, if we can prove with automatic signal execution that you can get a very high Sharpe ratio on a bot, we might offer that as a strategy for people that don't want to spend too much time on this. But initially, we will not do that because it brings more problems than it does good. If we can all use the system together and people provide feedback through the Discord, and we improve the system over time, and it becomes so good that we can just let it run its own course, and initially with fake money and later with real money, then you can choose to follow such a strategy, and then you can do automatic trading. But that is definitely not a feature you want us to concentrate on in the beginning.
Here's a question that's pretty funny. What if someone is buying a lot of Lambda tokens and dumping it under the ICO price? Huge downtrend. Well, basically, any coin you buy and sell below the current price is then lower than the current price. It applies to anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that we have made a design solution for this. So there's two ways that you could peg a subscription price. You could peg it to the dollar equivalent value, or you could peg it to the number of tokens. If we did the stupid thing, and that's to peg it to the number of tokens, the lower the price goes, the less money you would have to spend to buy that amount of tokens. That would create a death spiral. But because the subscription's pegged to a dollar value, the lower the price goes, the more tokens people need to buy in order to get a subscription. This creates an elasticity back to the upside. So the whole thing is engineered so that the value appreciation comes from new subscribers that are injecting capital into the market, and people not being dumb and selling it for lower than the actual price that exists. More importantly, if you do, other people will arbitrage that difference out. So they will buy up the cheaper tokens to get more tokens. That's how an efficient market works.
Here's a question, Hoss and team, why didn't you create a DAO? Wouldn't the community profit and grow even better with that? I don't think so. I don't think DAOs really work. And the DAO certainly does not develop a company. It's a governmental structure that is very inefficient in the current state of it. And also, we do not get any allocation. There's no DAO, like if there would be a DAO, it probably would have to have any allocation. And also the tokens would also, next to all of the other features, because the clear utility is the platform. You would have to allocate it to governmental issues. This would not work. And DAOs in general, they don't work.
People don't care about governance. People care about profits. I'm sorry to put it so bluntly, but we want to move fast and we want to be able to take quick decisions and build a company. And we want to bring value back to the people that participate in this community. But throughout a DAO, we're not going to do this. But if we could create a profitable model together, we can. Input is always welcome, though. Like it's not that is always open. And if you know us from the past year and a half, we are completely open to input. We spend an abnormal amount of time in the Discord listening and answering people's questions, and all of the current users can attest to that.
And we will keep listening to. You can at any time join the Discord and communicate with us. And also one more question I've seen here, it's a little bit older. Can you buy directly via the ledger? It was asked in German.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, the portal is secured, so it will be more secure than the whitelist. Whitelist was just a simple thing. But essentially, you can participate in the IDO with a ledger, and the system will ask you to send a tiny transaction. This transaction is sending SOL to yourself. The only thing we care about is that you've signed this transaction with your ledger so that we can verify the signature, so we can authenticate you as being you. This is sort of standard authentication procedure now in Solana, especially in the better projects, and that's how it will work. But we will provide a lot of information about that.
A question that was also asked earlier, why Solana and not ETH?
That's a very good one. Do you want me to answer that one?
Yes, you should answer it as a developer.
A lot of people believe that ETH is the future. I used to develop on Ethereum. I've never been happier to be gone from the ecosystem. It's incredibly slow compared to Solana. It's incredibly expensive compared to Solana. It's not for the everyday person. And you cannot build the type of applications on it that you can build on Solana. You cannot build, let's say, a MasterCard or a Visa competitor or something that requires the accuracy and speed of a chat program and the concurrency thereof. There's a lot of fake arguments around that are against Solana, which say that it's centralized. It's not centralized. In fact, the amount of development efforts that are going on into decentralization on Solana are quite immense. But the most important thing is, as a developer, I can actually build something that's useful at speed on a blockchain, and I cannot do that on Ethereum. So, given the recent FUD, I understand there's a lot of concern around Solana, but every day I open the coding terminal, I can say that I could not be happier that I was developing in Solana.
A different question towards me. Hoss, will you show and explain the platform, not the article, in your video? In the video in the weekend, I will explain all of the features. I will explain the tokenomics. I will explain everything that is around the platform itself. But the platform itself will be available in January.
Yeah, we release the initial version and we start building features on top of it as we go along, especially also with feedback from the community. So that's the beauty about the IDO, is it allows us to hire a couple of more developers and then speed up development. This is different to what we've done with Lambda in the past, where we've just organically grown it from our own money and from organic subscription money that came in. So that was a slower growth path than this plan is.
Will there be a way to lend or borrow USDC on the platform? No, we're not a lending platform, and we're also not custodial of any funds. Yeah. Oh, Ted, you've put something in here.
Yeah, you were just finishing off that question. So no, we'd have to take custody of funds in that instance, and that would not be happening. So no way to lend or borrow USDC on the platform. But this one was on a question earlier around the back testing and what the algorithm, how the algorithm works. So I think there was a few actually, but we've had some back testing done, and we are back testing all of the time to make sure that we improve this thing. But you can see here was a very basic back test that we did on the higher time frames for strikes. So this is using the hard signals and generating a pretty much automated strategy around that. So entering on hard buys, entering on hard sells, and vice versa with take profits. So you can see that the 4 hour and the 1 hour, the daily win rate 0.48 is pretty insane if you're managing your risk and going with the stats that you see here. So 10x profit, average profit was 3.04%. More losers than wins, but the asymmetrical bets that you can put on with strike are quite insane at times, and that's what you see here. There's also another chart that I want to share as well.
To be fair, you have to really look at it. The win rate on the 4 hourly, it's pretty insane looking at just some algorithm, because there is no, on this planet, there is no algorithm you can blindly follow in every trade and you will have 100% win rate, or else the person would, basically the market would not exist to a degree.
Yeah.
So
everyone would be billionaires.
Yeah, not only billionaires, the market would just be dead of liquidity because you would get all of it. So having such a high win rate, only executing dumbly, when you add a little bit of confluence to it and think a little bit yourself and look at the macroeconomic data, look at the fundamental data, which is also why we decided, hey, we don't want to only offer the algorithm, we want to also offer the other side of the thing, which is the macro data, which has been moving the markets since probably the crypto markets over 2 years now. If you would argue even slightly longer, and it will not go away. So those two important things come together. So you can, if you just add slight brain of yourself to it, you will be able to have amazing success with this. And we all have been using it in the past, and we've all had amazing success with it. And I think the brilliance about this thing is that you can find your own strategy with it. You can try it out, and whatever coin you want on whatever time frame you want, you can add confluence to it. You can try it with support and resistant levels. There's so many things you can do with it, and that is just the cool thing about it.
This backtest, Eric Jaiko was done. I think it was a little over a month ago, Ted. So in the bear market, in the depth.
It's in the bear market. This is not in the bull market.
This is all market periods. So this is from, I believe, what was it, prior to early 2020, and then up until about a month ago. So
it's important to note as well that this is the light version that another team tested. So we gave them the light indicator. We said, go do your thing. Then they came back with a report. But this is not our test. This is their test. So it's an independent test.
Yeah. It's a third-party test.
The new one obviously is way more refined even and way more powerful. But I think all of that will be seen once it's out, I think.
Combining support and resistance and automating that aspect that's quite subjective increases the hit rate of this insanely. And when you're also paying attention to economic calendar, like this is paying no attention to any of that. It's purely just the directional signals that we generate on the hard signals. So hard buys.
It's like an assistant.
It just automates it itself. So this is what you see.
Hoss says, like, you can adapt it to your own strategy. So my strategy is not to blindly follow signals, but I tend to buy when everybody wants to give up and there's extreme blood in the market. But I have difficulty taking profits. I don't know when to get out very well. So I typically look at the fair value gaps in the indicator, or when the money flow looks topped out, to get out. So that's when I exit my position. That's how I use strike. I don't really use it for entries because I like to get in a bit earlier to get in like at a wick or a stink bid. But when I exit, that's when it really helps me. So it's different for everybody.
Yeah. For example, this is a great explanation of you, because a lot of people have the issue that they enter a position for whatever reason, they have belief in it, but they don't get out. And having then an additional instance that tells you, hey, there's some things changing, money flows changing, you should probably get out, is amazing.
Yeah. And even if it moons more afterwards or goes deeper, if you're short, you don't give a shit because there's always another trade. The important part is you just keep stacking profits. Anyway, I mean, we can speak for days on the trading part of the algorithm, but you shouldn't listen to us. You should speak to people that are in the Discord that have been using it. I think is the best way.
Because don't forget, Strike has been up there and running for like since months. So you can go into Discord and ask the old users, how did they use it? How did they like it? You can scroll the Twitter, look at the alerts that have been posted in the past that have been successful on the public Twitter page, and have a view on that for yourself.
Target audience. So basically, we want to be able to. I mean, we're not for institutional traders, so we can rule out that target audience. They have specialized tools and terminals and so forth. So we're not in that category. And typically, they don't focus on a broad market. They focus on a specific market. We're also very honestly not very well catered to people that are trading with $20 or $50. I don't think you should be trading if you're trading with that amount of money. It's far more useful.
Earn money.
Yeah, you should go out and earn money, because the thing is that we're working in a game of percentages, and percentages on large sums is a lot more effective for your time than percentages on tiny sums. A cup of coffee still costs the same, but if you have a 3% on 100,000 euros or 10,000 euros, that's a lot more cup of coffees than on 100 euros. So you shouldn't be using it. So the demographic is, I think typically people start with trading capital of $1,000 and upwards. $1,000 is still quite low, and I mean, we know people that are trading, millions with this. So I know, I'm not going to go into position sizes of the teams, but Ted and I typically trade with 6-figure positions or higher, and we use it just fine. It's a matter of liquidity in the book as well. I mean, at some point you get too big for the book, so then that's not for you anymore. So it's that whole, it's a range of an active trader. But the benefit of the alerts is that you don't need to be behind the terminal all the time. They come in your phone, and you can take action from your phone. So there's a subset of Strike that runs via Telegram, so you can just subscribe to the alerts and the pairs that you're interested in, and just execute on those in between.
Yeah, this is an example, for example, target audience wise. If you have work and you are not the person, you have a full-time job, you cannot look at the chart and the markets all day, but you're interested in several coins for fundamental reasons, whatever reason you have, and you want to find entries in them, you cannot sit there all day and wait and look and see if things change. You can use the alerts of the coins, of the watch list that you set up, to then execute the trade that you've been waiting to execute for. This is just one potential use case that you can try using. But obviously, you can also try using it on exotic altcoins on smaller timeframes. There's unlimited possibilities what you can do with Strike, and even like for larger amounts of money, when you go into higher timeframes, you can look at yourself at what times, under what context the algorithm was right. If you have to always put it in the macroeconomic context and always understand what was going on around crypto, especially on the larger timeframes. When you look at Bitcoin, you cannot just look at an indicator, because any indicator you look at, any price that has been caused, has a reason for it to be caused, has a reason for market participants having fear. So even at higher timeframes with higher amounts, there's so many possibilities with the Strike algorithm that you can explore yourself.
Yep.
Will you release an app in the future?
No.
Clear no.
Like a mobile app.
I also agree. I don't think you would want to execute trades like that from a mobile app. We will have the alerts on Telegram, so you can have them on your phone, and you can execute them when you connect your API via Telegram. You can just reply to the bot, yes, execute, or no. But the platform itself, it does not need to be mobile. You should do it from a laptop.
Having said that, like once the whole app is built, what we'll likely do is we'll gather feedback from the community as to what are the most useful or crucial features. and then we'll create some sort of light version that you can easily load on your mobile, sort of stripped of the drawing tools, because you're not going to draw on charts on your mobile. Just the chart, just the signals, just the buttons. So in that sense, we will probably release an app, but it won't be an app like you're used to. You're not going to buy it from the App Store. It will just be like a portable web application, or like a thing that you get from the internet that can run on your phone.
People are asking, so you're saying the token can only rise? The token obviously cannot only rise. We're saying that from the launch of the token itself, people will use it for the platform. So then the token will adjust to the demand of how many people will use the platform.
Yeah.
Once it's in the free market, once it has found its price, which it will be 100% above the token launch price, because that is the price people buy the utility, which is the clear utility and access to the platform, then it will fluctuate just like any other token, depending on how many new users will come in that would want to have access, or other users taking profits. It's not up only. No token on this planet is up only.
Yeah, exactly. And you can imagine, like, if there's a panic moment and Bitcoin dives 30% in one flash, and people have heavy margin positions and need to realize every single funds that they have to cover those margin positions. We have seen it so many times that even the best systems suffer a temporary dip. But if the project is strong, this typically gets bought back up again. It just depends on how active the usage is. So
it depends on the utility, because people, you have to get this right. This is not some Ponzi-nomics like SafeMoon, some token without utility. The token is there to gain access to the platform. And this is the core utility that will always drive the demand for the token. And there's no external selling pressure. Everyone that's selling is someone that has bought before. And the only potential reason they could sell is either for profit, or they have to liquidate money quickly. But then other market participants that will see the value will come in and buy it. So this is how the open market will work. Obviously, there's not someone like sitting somewhere with unlimited cash, just buying everything up, so making sure the price chart goes like this all the time. It will obviously fluctuate, but at a different price level. It's simple market theory.
Raymond Lee, to whom does the 90% going to the vault go? A, only 10% goes to the vault initially, and this is used for liquidity provision. 90% goes to the IDO contract. So all of the people that contribute money, proportionally, they will get a share of that 90 million tokens after the IDO is done.
Yeah.
And the 10% initially is used for liquidity provision. If you have a new market, there needs to be liquidity in the books around the established token price of the IDO in order to facilitate initial trading. Liquidity will always find itself after a while, but you don't want some people with technical coding skills in the beginning to make a lot of money from an illiquid, badly bootstrapped market. It's just a good thing to do, to bootstrap the market.
Is there a guess with what price the token will start in the market? It will adjust according to how many people will allocate during the IDO, and will be publicly visible during the token launch. So during the IDO, we'll see at all times how much is the token, how many people participate, how much money they participate. All of that is visible.
Yeah. So Raymond Lee says, not the IDO, the subscription. Yeah, so you see the token going to the vault address that's on Solana. You'll see all the tokens in there. You'll see whenever the tokens are moving. So it's completely transparent. You can just open it in SolScan and follow it.
Yeah. Cool.
I love the fodders, Bart and Neuerscan. Actually, this project's been around since July 2021. Lambda is not a new thing, and we have worked very hard to create a lot of value for the people that have been using this so far. So I think it's important to stress that this is not just some generation event. This is a concentrated effort to strategically grow this project a lot faster by getting new blood on board in the shape of Haas, who is become a partner of the project, and also be able to hire people and develop it to a whole new level. No, Skew is not part of this team.
I think Yeah, we probably answered most of the questions. Anyways, there will be. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Ted.
I was just going to say there's probably going to be a lot of questions, but I think most that I'm seeing now are answered by the article. If you
yeah, and anyways, we will have another Tokenomics Ask AMA.
Exactly.
And also my Video will come for everyone that is German, für jeden deutschen Zuschauer. Ich werde ein vollumfängliches Video dazu zu allem hochladen, nochmal auf Deutsch alles erklären. Und ja.
Geschmeidig.
Danke.
Okay, klasse. Sehr gut. Und
Good
jetzt?
Stuff, guys.
Bier.
That clarified.
Bier? Nee.
Schnaps? Nein. Okay. Cool. Vielen Dank für all die Fragen. Stellt sie weiter in den Discord und wir arbeiten fleißig weiter an dieses Projekt.
Now back to coding.
Ja. Tschüss.
Tschüss. Guten Abend. Danke fürs Zuschauen an jeden. Thanks everyone for watching. See you. And bye bye, Ted.
See you guys. Thanks for joining in. See you in the Discord.
Bye, host. Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.